Yeah, I really hope that they see how much I tried to show up well for them as much as I was showing up well for myself and like going
Mhm.
after these hard things. Like, and I didn't always get it right. And I think um yeah, I've apologized to them at times for times I didn't and stuff. And I write about that all in the book too. But I really hope they see like how much love I had for them and how much it made me like try to be really intentional about
Mhm.
that connecting with them and yeah, I think like I really hope that they too like just find something that they love so much that they
Mhm.
it's not work to them, you know, like that's really my hope for them.
Speaking of which, talking about your motherhood, the evolution of it, you understanding so much about yourself and life, and now fostering for other lives. How have you been able to like balance those changes? Or, some people don't like the word balance. I don't mind it. I think it can exist, but how have you been able to like manage those changes?
Yeah, I talk a lot
You've been a
about
mom now for how many years?
oh gosh, 10. Yeah, coming up on 11.
Decade. Yeah, that is crazy. So yeah, share with me all of the
You
things.
probably too. How old is
Yeah.
now?
Yep.
Yeah,
Just over a decade.
yeah. I talk a lot about my parenting journey in the book. I think it also has evolved. I think
Yeah.
like, I think
Well, we want
similarly.
people to read the book, so just give us little snippets, not the whole thing.
Yes, yeah, you have to read the whole experience. But I thought I would be kind of like my mom, and I think you similarly like, um, maybe you just yeah you have these ideas of like who you're gonna be and
Mhm.
what it's gonna look like. But then when I got to that point. I still had a lot of love for the sport and like fire for it and like I was just starting to run the marathon. Like my second marathon was like literally a week after we brought the girls home from Ethiopia. And so I wanted to keep running marathons. I wanted to keep seeing what was possible and like I didn't have a model for that growing up and I
Mhm.
didn't have a lot of support for that a lot
Yeah.
at times like besides like my immediate family which was the most powerful thing and what I really learned to like only pay attention to really is like how is this affecting my husband and my kids and like are
Mhm.
we all on board with this but yeah it was really it felt kind of like pioneering it at the time for me. I mean and other people had done it and stuff but for me and like just for my culture I grew up with it was kind of counterculture to that. So I think I'm so glad I did. I feel like it's allowed me to hold on to a part of myself that just gives me so much joy and like I wake up every day excited to do it, and I think as a mom that's so important. Like you don't want to lose those parts of yourself and you want your kids to
Mhm.
see you doing those things that make
Yeah.
you come alive, because that's your greatest like hope for them too. And like um I don't know, there's so many aspects that you get to model to your kids through the process too versus if you were just kind of waiting around to polish their grapes for them for their school lunch or something. Like,
Grapes. Feels like that in motherhood. Like my youngest one asks for the most mundane thing. Like you're just like, wait, what? That's why I said, like, I wonder what it's like being Lennox. It's like, no,
yeah.
I know. There has to be half strawberries, half. But you're like, you have to learn how to do this because this is too much. And it's going to be an extra service charge for that. But um, I love what you're saying though, because it's like modeling for your kids in general, having them see you. There are some things that you're just kind of like have to do, right? And then there's other ones that are like, hold on, maybe there's a way that we can like have these worlds meld a little bit better so it's enjoyable for the both for the both of us.
Yeah. Or just
Yeah.
like I realized like I'd go to a race and I'd feel really guilty because and the grandparents would come and watch the kids and I'd feel guilty I wasn't there. But it was like my kids are so much closer to my grandparents or like my parents and I got to be of their parents because they
Mhm.
spent random weekends like a couple times a year with them or even now we'll go on like a training camp Ryan and I like once a year for a couple weeks and they get
Yeah.
like a full week with their grandparents and like so you start to just see these other sides of things where it's like again it can in your head like the story you're telling yourself can be like oh I'm choosing this race over them and it's selfish and blah 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 or you can see these other things that at play that's like, no, they don't just need me in their lives. Like they need other people. Like they offer
Yeah.
different things to them than I do, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah, but there's like I know all of the things that of course we can talk about that so much. But
yeah.
the village is so important, like you're mentioning, in your motherhood and in your career now, like you've run some of your fastest times in your motherhood. And it feels like from the outside, looking in, I feel like I just saw a boosted Sarah. And I just wonder, like, if you feel some similar components to that, and what are some things that sort of surprised you about your motherhood coming into like the boost, I say, in your athletic career, and then also like having the two meld together.
Yeah, I ran my best races at 38. And I was, 6 or 7 years into motherhood. So I just want to encourage people out there that like, yeah, just to not, necessarily your dreams don't necessarily have to have an expiration date. And
Yeah.
if you can just keep loving the process and making those incremental gains, and that's really what I was doing. And it wasn't easy. Like I was having to keep finding ways to be creative, to improve, like and and fit it in with the family and everything, but it's doable. And like I think I wouldn't say like there was anything performance enhancing about being a mom. It's definitely like a sacrifice, but I would say one thing that helped is just I think there's a pressure that comes with like putting that part of your life on hold. um
Mhm.
that once you're living it and you don't have that part of your life, like that you don't have that on hold and in the back of your mind anymore. There's a freedom with that it's
Totally.
like I can if you have a bad race, you're not like, oh well, I'm putting all this on hold and it's like not worth it and all this stuff. Like you're like, okay, well, like I'm living my best life right now and like doing everything that I want, and so I guess it just makes it easier to weather the failures, weather the disappointments, because you have such a richer, fuller life of meaning and that makes you happy and stuff. It doesn't all hinge on your running.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a performance enhancer.
Agree with you on that one. I mean, I was thinking back, everything you're saying, just I completely agree with. I'm not like I need to agree with your experience, but I um have similar, experiences that I'm like, yes, girl, everything. But I
Yeah.
think well, I remember just like needing to earn motherhood, and thinking like, oh, okay, I need to break this record. I have to make this team. I have to win these amount of medals before like I can have a child. And then there was something that just was like, well, Alicia, your happiness is defined by your overall living. And
Yeah.
is your living in just one component of your life, or can this be something that continues to add to the value of your life? And like, I don't know where that came from, something came into my whole being and was like, yeah, like you totally deserve to be 100% happy, however that shows up. And motherhood was one of the things for me. But then I also recognized like, whose book was I reading that told me that story? Like, why don't I
Right.
rewrite this book? And I think that's what you're doing, and then you're sharing that. And someone's like, oh, actually, this is a better book for me to read than whatever one that was telling me to be less, be smaller, only choose a piece of you. So, yeah, that's what I really appreciate about you sharing your story too, is just like,
Thanks.
I'm like, yeah, like that's so real. It's just like I get to run in whatever race I feel like running in. My children are going to see me and they're still going to be like, hey, I would love hugs and kisses, please. And you're like, oh, you still care for me. I'm not of less value as
Yeah.
professional
Half
athletes.
strawberry, half banana, this.
Cut the blueberries in half, thank you. And you're like sulking. You're like, oh, hold on, I got to cut these strawberries really well. Anyways, I'm saying all that to say I really appreciate you, and
Thanks.
I relate. That's the word, not agree. I relate. Um, but at the same time, so like now, we're talking about what else for Sarah? Like if you weren't going to be a professional athlete, what what is Sarah doing? You said that if it didn't work out, it'd be completely fine, and I'm just curious, like what are other things that are of interest to you?
Yeah, my heart's like always really burned to help people living in extreme poverty. And I talk about that in the book, like where that came from. And,
Hmm.
like trips I did at a young age that really like I saw poverty outside the US borders. And it like just really marked my life where I was like, no matter what I do, like I want to make an impact and bring justice to people that are suffering, I think
Mhm.
it's just really stuck with me in a way that like bothers me. Like I'm like there's people starving to death, like so many people in the world, and like there's more than enough here. And
Mhm.
um, so I think, yeah, I'm very like justice minded, and so that's what led me to my kids. It was what led me, and I think you see it play out in different ways too. Like when I'm like trying to fight USATF on making us run in the middle of the day in Florida
Yeah.
at the local
Good
trials
job.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I think that's something I still would love to do in a more hands-on way. Right now we have our charity, the Hall Steps Foundation, that we've been able to do quite a bit of work. I think almost 500,000 in grants in different
Wow.
ways, like building a hospital in Kenya, like a maternity ward in Senegal, like another in Mozambique, and also right now we're really focused on Ethiopia, obviously with my kids and just helping kids living on the streets there. There's over 60,000 kids living on the streets just in the capital city of Addis Ababa alone, and so that's just like I'm just not okay with that, and I think like I what we're doing is a small drop in the bucket, but I would love to be able to do more in a more hands-on way. And so yeah, that's the goal. But I still like love to compete, and like I keep extending that part out further. Like now I'm like, now I want to try trail races and ultras and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna look. Like maybe I can have more of an impact continuing to run, continuing to raise money, like make
Yeah.
money to give to these projects. But
Really.
yeah, that's the end goal for me is really that, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, keep going. Like whatever you feel, whatever your heart desire, you hear that all the time. You're actually living it. And so I'm I'm excited to cheer you on wherever it goes. It's fun watching you run. I'm always cheering for you. Thank you for, stepping up for athletes across, the marathon for the trials and making sure that they're not going to be unsafe conditions. I'm hopeful. Where are we in that battle?
Yeah, so we were pretty successful. That was we got moved to like a 10 a.m. start, which was for the women was like 10:20 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was semi-successful, I would say.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it was more a moment of just saying like, hey, we're not gonna just stand for
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and I
Mhm.
think that was the more important part, to be like, we really unified and said like, no, we are the sport, and like we're not gonna do this. And that
Yeah.
was, I think, sent a message, which was good.
Yeah. That's incredible. And it's also sets another piece to your legacy. Um, so tell me now, like, Sarah, what else are we going to be cheering for you for the rest of 2026 and beyond? Where can we find you? What should we tap into?
Yeah, well, I'm still hoping to run marathons. I ran the most marathons in a 6-month period I've ever done
Woo!
last year, which was a huge breakthrough. Just like if you read my book, you see like I was in this major injury cycle. There were more days I couldn't run than I could run for a year,
Mhm.
for the first time since starting the sport. And so that was a huge victory to be able to like I wasn't able to finish every one of them, but 5 marathons in 6 months, like just to be able to like be healthy enough to do that was really huge. And so yeah, now I'm taking a little break from the marathons because that was a lot, and I would love to maybe hop in a trail race before the end of the year. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but definitely want to run another marathon. And right now, honestly, at the moment though, I'm trying to just pace myself a little bit in the summer, just because I really kind of burned myself out last summer, and
Mhm.
didn't have a great first fall marathon. So I really am trying to like take a real off season.
Yeah.
One, because of that, but two, because I just want to be like present with my family more and have a
Yeah.
lot more fun with them. Because I've been grinding the entire time I've been a mom, like every
Yeah.
summer, and it's like I'm not
Right.
gonna go on hikes, like because I'm
Mhm.
training and stuff, and I'm doing other things with my kids, like the hikes are what they do with their dad, and then I'm doing other fun things. But like now I want to do some of the hikes, and I think that's
Yeah.
really important to like have those ebbs and flows, and I haven't always been great at that because I do love the grind so much.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's feeling really good. It feels like the right season for that, and then
Yeah.
really excited to ramp it up as the year goes on.
Has your relationship with training changed at all? Like
A
with
little
being, yeah, where you are in your season of life?
Yeah, a little bit in that, just like as I said, I'm 43, and so for my entire marathon career, I improved every year
Yeah.
until I hit up that injury cycle.
Yeah.
And I got really addicted to that constant improvement, constantly like running a tick faster in long runs, a tick faster in tempo runs,
Mhm.
and chasing American records eventually and stuff when I got to that point. So now it's been an adjustment because I'm not running a tick faster than I did the last year, and I'm having to come back to like my whys for why I'm doing this, and also
Mm.
like be careful of the story I'm telling myself, all those things. So I think you can start to just attribute everything to age,
Yeah.
where it's like, but maybe you were just tired, or maybe you were underfueled that day, or like, and it's like
And a
that's
lot in your motherhood and your training. Yeah.
yeah. And so yeah, I feel like that's been like a new season of challenge for me, is just continuing to like stay curious in this season, but also just like not expect less of myself, or like expect things because of my age, and stay like open-minded. And yeah, so it's felt different, but I feel like what I'm working on, I can share with other people that are also going through it, is because age is a universal experience, and so I've been trying to do that as I go.
Yeah. And so you have three daughters that are out of the house now, one left.
This Jasmine heads out this fall, so then it'll be down to one. Yeah.
Okay. So is this also part of your just like thought process on like, oh my gosh, I'm now about to be an empty nester?
That is
You
one. Yeah.
you're gonna have one more, you said.
Yeah, so we have 3
Okay.
years to being empty nesters,
Okay.
and which is wild. It went by really
So,
fast, obviously.
one, in the house. It's so different from a house full of lots of noises.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna feel really especially girls, like lots of words,
Yeah.
like really talking.
Lots of
So,
feelings, lots of I want to tell you this. Yeah.
yeah, I know. It's
I'm
gonna
mad at
be
you about
different,
this.
but I think it'll be kind of exciting too, because Lily, like Jasmine, is a lot more talkative, and so I
Mhm.
feel like she's gonna get more like words out. She's gonna not have to compete as much, so that'll be fun to just experience her a little differently.
Yeah.
But
Do you have to tell yourself different things like for each how you parent each child? Like, do you
oh
have to
yeah,
yeah, they're all
yeah.
different, right?
My
Yeah.
kids are so different. Like sometimes I'm like, are you guys really related? Like, but yeah, they like some are so sensitive, and then some are like, yeah, some are really moody, and some are really emotionally stable, and so
Mhm.
it's constantly learning as a parent. As you know, it's like, it's so much trial and error, and just trying to learn from your mistakes along the way. But
Totally. I mean, there's something I meant to ask you actually about earlier because I was thinking about that. You're learning so much, and not only in your career but also in your motherhood. But like when you adopted your four daughters 10 years ago, what are some things that you like? One, were scared to change, but immediately recognized that you needed to, and what are some things like that were unlocked in you, I guess, in adding motherhood to that component in your life and just like the experience and the journey that you went through in order to like have your four daughters.
gosh, so many things. I think I realized like I didn't see myself as like a controlling person before. Like I
Mm.
was like I'm kind of type B in a lot of ways. Like I'm really messy, like I am not like really organized and stuff like that. But I think with our sport, you have to control so many of the controllables.
Mm.
And I think and I realized pretty early, like, oh, I have a tendency towards like control, and like just trying to
Mm.
like keep them from pain by like, and especially my kid, there it was a unique situation. Like my oldest daughter had never none of them had been to school, so she's starting school at 16. She doesn't speak English, so you're like doing so many things for them, trying to help them adjust, trying to help them learn and adapt and all these things. But then like you get to a point where you're like, oh wait, but then at times you need to like step back and like let them like just learn on their own or make mistakes or things, and so I think that was a uniquely challenging, just because of our start, was not like a traditional start
Yeah.
of family. But yeah, definitely working on control and letting them like just fail and make mistakes and stuff. And then I think what it really also opened up in me was more compassion for myself, because I realized like I can be really hard on myself, and but then that can like trickle out to them too, and like if they and I wanted to give them more grace, and like be more understanding and everything. So like first I had to like start with that with myself, and
Mm,
like self-talk, making that kinder and everything. And so yeah, anyways, I think I learned that too. Like, um, yeah, you like how to, yeah, just be kind to yourself and know you did the best you could with what you had,
mm,
at the time, and like the info you had, like how could you have known, is like a phrase I tell myself a lot. So I'll just beat myself up about something, and but then it's like, well, how could you have known that?
yeah.
But
Oh my gosh. And did that also translate over to your like your running? Just like the
yeah.
things that you had to like dig into to how you speak to yourself is how you're gonna like externally speak to your daughters and like yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it had to do with running because you're like trying to perform and you're trying to get your body like in mind and everything all in, and it's just small margins. And so I
Mm.
think that's where that came from. It's just kind of that perfectionism, where you're just constantly like, oh, if you just done this a little better, you would have won the race. And so I think just realizing that in yourself, though, that like perfectionism, how much it steals joy,
Mm.
um,
Yes.
and like, yeah, just trying to um yeah, like when my daughters like for example, like they would use like 20 paper towels to like pick up one little like dog hair or something, and you're just like that, like like the environment and waste and cost, but like just being like it's all good, like
Yeah,
just like
it's all good. Maybe let's try it like this next time, but I don't need to go, ah. Yeah. No,
yeah,
that's universal, by the way. You're just like, what is going on here? I thought we just got toilet paper. I'm so confused. What is happening? I have the same sort of things. My kids like to like do like paper mache stuff and just like all the computer paper, all the toilet paper, and you don't really know they're doing it. Then you go into a corner of someone's room and they're all there, and you're like, oh, this is where it all is. And you're like, this costs money, whatever the whole thing is. But then you're also like, okay, they are playing. I don't know how to
yeah,
manage this any better. I'm gonna close the door. Have fun,
yeah.
guys. And then you get a gift, and you're like, oh, this is so sweet. You're like, what is it?
Oh, good for
No.
you for letting them make messes and
Yeah,
be artsy. That's huge.
yeah, I mean, I have to, but it's also like, I mean, I get people come over frequently, and I'm like, sorry, all the time. Yeah, oops, sorry, I meant to just like step over, Hot Wheels and try not to get anybody injured. But
Yeah,
I love that so much. I love just chatting with you about like all of the things. I'm curious, like, do you love having your family at races with you? Do you like more going solo? Like, what's your like Sara Hall travel plan with the fam or with
yeah.
them? What do you
It's
like?
it's evolved. Like early on, kind of leaving for a race was like the only time I was away from the kids. And
Mm,
honestly, I felt like as soon as I got on that plane, like I felt like just stepping out of parenting for a bit, I would just start to like see things differently. Like I just got to like get above it, um and just I would get ideas for like stuff,
mm,
or just see something that was bothering me, see it in a different light, or like I don't know, it's hard to describe, but like I felt like it just helped so much to have a little bit of distance at
totally.
times. And so but then I would at times take one of my daughters with me to like just have quality one-on-one time, because we had four in the home all the time. And so it was like a fun way to just bond with them uniquely, and
Yeah.
also like it also took pressure off the race because it felt like if it didn't go well, we still got this like paid vacation together, and it still like made some memories together
Yeah.
in this new
Yeah.
place. And then if it did go well, it was like great. But so
Yeah.
yeah, different things at different times. Now my kids are old enough where they're really good travelers. They've traveled so much with us all over the world. So they are usually excited to see a lot of these places, and
Mm,
so I'll bring them in, but I don't have to do a lot for them. Like
yeah.
they can explore with Ryan and stuff,
You're
and
not
like I
getting half strawberries,
right.
half blueberries, half banana.
We're past that stage. But
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and you probably get it's like give and take either way, but like you probably get more of that part of you that does want to have some structure and control to like let it breathe for a second when you get to go travel as mom on your own. I know I feel that too sometimes where I'm like, oh, I actually needed that little reset.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually do need that piece of me to be able to live somewhere sometimes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just like to miss each other a little bit. Like
Yeah.
so it's just, even with your spouse too, it's the same way, but like I feel like that's super healthy. And
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a combo now, like bringing them sometimes, but sometimes it's just me. It's not usually Ryan and I. He doesn't come to as many races anymore. That was really fun when
Yeah.
that would be like kind of our old routine of traveling together. But
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Now you got to split the difference. It's like divide and conquer. Totally. That's parent life. Um,
yeah,
but that's awesome. I'm hopeful for your journey into trail and, hopeful that I'll still continue to see you on roads. Maybe we'll get some time to go on a run together in the near future. I'd love that so much. You're such a wonderful human being, a wonderful model to your
Oh.
daughters. What is something that you hope that they see in you that they remember about their mom?
Yeah, I really hope that they see how much I tried to show up well for them as much as I was showing up well for myself and like going
Mhm.
after these hard things like and I didn't always get it right and I think yeah, I've apologized to them at times for times I didn't and stuff and I write about that all in the book too but I really hope they see like how much love I had for them and how much it made me like try to be really intentional about
Mhm.
um, that connecting with them and yeah I think like I really hope that they too like just find something that they love so much that they
Mhm.
that's not work to them like that's really my hope for them too and it's cool because just generationally like I grew up with like really traditional gender roles so I struggled
Yeah.
a lot with what I was doing, but it's like they don't even think about that stuff. Like they're like they have no thought in their mind of not having a career or something and like so that's been really cool because I think they'll also just look back on my career with those eyes of like, yeah, of course she wanted to keep doing
Yeah.
what she loves,
Yeah.
and like yeah. But
If you can do that, I can do it too. And
yeah.
then beyond motherhood, like what do you hope your legacy is beyond race times on the roads and in the trails?
I think the book is honestly it. I've just tried to cram as much as think many things as I learned as possible to pass on and hopefully
Yeah.
have people avoid the same mistakes. Hopefully have people be able to get over some of that performance anxiety and really love competing and get freed up in ways. Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've tried to really be, you don't want to talk about that stuff because it feels like weakness to have like, like fear and anxiety and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've tried to talk about it a lot because I feel like it's really universal and um, yeah, I hope people just um can find a way to like tap into their spiritual side like in whatever way that is that in a way that can they can see themselves as a more whole person
Yeah.
beyond them in the physical.
Oh, I love that. Well, you're doing a wonderful job and you're just a wonderful person to support and to watch and, just to model after. So thank you so much for just being a wonderful human, a wonderful friend. I want us to go into some quick rapid fires.
Yes.
We did so much to like run it back, and now I just want to like move some things forward. So, quick questions. Okay. What's one thing your daughters tease you about?
My dance moves, we were trying to like master these TikTok dances and they're in the beginning of the year and they're like you cannot move your hips like, I'm like well I'm white too so like give me some slack but I was having all these like TikTok injuries
Oh, hilarious.
so like I was like, I need to scale this back because these spastic movements are like my body's like, what are you doing?
Okay. We're gonna also work on that when we hang out.
Yes,
If
I
you
need your
weren't
help.
a runner, what would you be?
Oh, like an NGO worker, I think, in a developing country
Oh,
somewhere.
oh, amazing. One book everyone should read.
Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth.
Ah, okay. I was totally giving you a platform to
Oh,
sell your book, but yeah,
faster for the love of
one.
the grind.
That's right. Okay, then what was the first one you said?
Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Yeah.
Perfect. And For the Love of the Grind by Sarah Hall. Um, finish this sentence. The grind is worth it because.
The grind is worth it because I don't know, doing hard things is fun. And just
Yeah.
seeing what you're made of and finding out what's inside in the process.
Ooh, yep. I love it. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on Run It Back. This is Sarah Hall, everyone. You can find her on Instagram and many other platforms of the Hall's Steps Foundation. And then, of course, Go out there and buy her book, For the Love of the Grind. Thank you so much, Sara Hall. This is Run It Back with Alysia Montaño.
Thank you.